I made this woodcut based on a photograph of the atomic cloud taken by a US military plane over the Seto Inland Sea, 80 kilometers from ground zero at approximately 1 hour after the atom bomb was dropped. This is not a cloud. The atom bomb is called the devil's weapon. I would like people everywhere to know its true horrors. I pray for the abolition of nuclear weapons from the earth. The Meiji government was established in 1868 and Japan opened up to the world. Japan came to be regarded as a great world power within the next 70 years. In September 1939, Germany invaded Poland and World War II started. On December 8, 1941, Japan attacked the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. As Japan attacked without a declaration of war, in the months that followed the attack, the slogan, "Remember Pearl Harbor," became quite popular in the US, and America promised to revenge. World War II became warfare that dragged in most countries of the world. In the Pacific region, it was fighting by US and British Allied forces against the Japanese military. A ghastly conflict was waged on the lands, oceans and islands of this large area, and many people perished in the war. At the beginning, the Japanese military was superior, but Japan's combined naval fleet was defeated in the Battle of Midway in the year following the outbreak of war. The islands of the Pacific were recaptured one after the other in sequence by the US forces. Air raids by American bombers on Japan burned flat most of the country. Japan lacked weapons and carried out the kamikaze suicide attack strategy of pilots crashing their planes into American aircraft carriers and naval ships. An atom bomb exploded over Hiroshima City at 8:15 on the morning of August 6, 1945. As the heat rays reached 1 million degrees Celsius, people and buildings were burnt exhaustively. People were blown away by shock waves, bodies were smashed or crushed under buildings or were burned alive. Even if some people managed to survive the blast, their bodily cells had been destroyed by the radiation generated by the nuclear fission at the explosion, and they died from internal bleeding or bleeding through the nose and eyes. The number of victims who had died by the end of the year reached about 140,000. An atomic bomb is a weapon in which the explosion resulting from the energy released by a reaction involving atomic nuclei by fission of uranium or plutonium causes mass destruction and damage. The atom bomb, which was dropped from the B-29 Enola Gay on Hiroshima, was a uranium bomb named Little Boy. It was a plutonium bomb named Fat Man that was dropped from the B-29 boxcar on Nagasaki 3 days later. The city of Hiroshima was obliterated and turned into ruins by a single bomb. It was said that due to the radiation, human beings could neither live there again, nor would trees and plants grow for 100 years. Three days after the atom bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a second atom bomb was exploded over Nagasaki City on August 9. Nagasaki City also was destroyed, and about 74,000 people were killed. A stone statue neck rolls in the debris. The Marian image was burned by a severe flash of light but remained standing. Survivors wandered among the rubble, searching for family members or their house. Charred dead bodies lay scattered everywhere. Women with their clothes peeled off, and bodies of dead children moved one to tears. The bowels and eyebrows protruded due to the shock waves. Skin hung down from the burnings. The victims were laid out in rows on the ground in temporary relief places. There was no medicine available. One did not know whether the victims were alive or dead. Lying on the ground, survivors groaned and cried out, "Give me some water, please." On finding the corpse or a burned piece of flesh of a family member, the survivors collected pieces of wood and cremated the remains. Family members were identified by the small bits of clothing left on the body. Not even the corpses of about half of the atom bomb victims could be found. Japan became a country without weapons or food to continue fighting. On August 15, 6 days after the atom bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan made an unconditional surrender. The Pacific War ended after almost 4 years of fighting. Japan, after defeat in the war, had neither food nor the funds to import food. The country received support from America and international organizations. The Japanese promised, "We will never make war again," and worked hard towards revival. Japan faced up to the tsunami-like adversities of rebuilding the nation. People worked through reconstruction to become a major economic power, and as a peaceful nation, the Japanese longed for world peace. In addition, Japan gave financial support to other developing countries and contributed to local development in many countries. More than 70 years have passed since the atom bombs were dropped, and there are still over 180,000 hibakusha survivors. People who were exposed to the atomic bombing underwent what is called internal radiation exposure because radioactivity collects in the body. Survivors continue to suffer from cancer and other diseases, and they are still approached by fear of death. Children especially are vulnerable and are strongly affected by radiation fallouts. For the sake of world peace and the future of humanity, nuclear weapons must be abolished. I pray from my heart for the repose of the souls of all dead atom bomb victims who died groaning in agony and with regretful feelings. People call this an atomic or mushroom cloud. However, this is smoke rising from the burning body of a father, mother, brothers and sisters. It is not a cloud. I do not want it to be called a cloud. A cloud is the sign of hope to a bright future. The downsizing of nuclear weapons advances with the development of technology, and the risk of being used anywhere increases. I pray deeply for the realization of a peaceful world, one without nuclear weapons and without warfare. I will continue sending this appeal to the whole world.